Okay, we're here with another building update, and I didn't get as much done as I was hoping. We did get the floor down, and I got my hole here where the lift is going to go. I got it all sorted out here, completely leveled off, and I used mortar to finish it up and fill up a lot of seams. I had a lot of seams in that down there just for the reason I used a lot of scrap pieces of this concrete board because I'm trying to save as much of it as possible without having to buy more. So there's a ton of seams in all of this here, all around the edges, and I went ahead and decided to use the mortar to get all filled in, smoothed off, and hopefully it's going to hold up here. Now, I'm not going to do the rest of the floor in the mortar. I'm just going to do the seams. I see here a little bit of a wider seam there. And I'm just going to go over all the seams, fill those in with mortar, and then call it quits. And I haven't gotten the flooring down on this side yet because I'm waiting over here until this wall is gone. Because remember, we were building on 10 feet out that direction, and I want the flooring to overlap the seam that's going to be here, and so I'm waiting to put all this down here. And you probably noticed that wall isn't quite as straight as what it was, because we had a really mean storm come through here, and we had wind that was up to 100 miles an hour. In all honesty, I am surprised the building is still standing because the wind was out of the west, and this is the west wall here that is missing. So we had all that wind going inside the building, and if you saw my short video, you would have noticed I took the mobility loader with pallet forks, and we hung a chain from the peak down to the forks and then put down pressure on to help hold this into the building down. And then we also braced up this wall with these boards here, and as you can see, it blew hard enough it completely dented in the tin right there. And all my bolts are taken on top, and I put a few of them back in, and they all fell out except this one here held. And luckily we had these boards propped up. When the wind got really bad during the storm and a bunch of rain came in, this board here was the only one that stayed standing because we had tied it up with the chain. We tied it in place to make sure it wouldn't fall, and luckily that held. Because if this wall comes out, then there's nothing supporting the roof, and then the roof's going to come down, and in that wind, it probably just would have destroyed the whole building. So luckily, all that held together, and it gave me quite a mess inside here, because all that wind blew a ton of dirt and stuff inside here, and took me a little bit to get it all cleaned out and everything. Anyway, so right now what I'm working on here is we got this lift table, as you know, and this is going to go into the floor, which is why we have the hole. And I'm going to go ahead and take a torch and trim these off. These are a stop, supposedly, so you can flip down and then the wheels run into it there. And I'm going to trim those off. There's also one here on the other side. And the hole that I built is just tight enough that I'm afraid it's going to want to hang up with this sticking out here another ½ inch. So I'm going to take a torch, clean those off, and hopefully make it so it fits a little bit easier. So I'm going to get a torch, get those all cleaned off, and hopefully get the table set into place here today. My mortar's still a little bit wet, but I'm not really too worried about that. And then once the table is in place, I can put my end wall in. You may have remembered last video, last update, last Saturday, I had the end wall in, and it was just sitting in place because with the end wall in place, I cannot get the lift table in and out. So obviously I can't get the wall completely mounted in yet. So I'm hoping to get the end wall put in here today, and then get the roof and all this here supported onto the end wall, because again, tomorrow it's supposed to be terribly cold, and we have winds that are going to be blowing about 25 miles an hour, which is nothing compared to what we had to the other day. But this old building, I'm not sure how much more of this it can take until it's finished. So anyway, we might see on getting this end wall here put in, and then just completely removing this wall here so the wind's not going to want to catch it. So we'll see what we can get done. Okay, so a couple things happened here while the camera was turned off. We got the hold finish here for the lift table, and we got table set here into place. Now, we had a hard time getting it squeezed in, because I may have made my hole too exact, and that metal edging I put on is just enough to my hang up. So I took a sledgehammer and kind of dented it all back, as you can kind of see there. And I guess I'll just have to do a little work on it and make sure it fits a little bit tighter. It now goes completely down into the floor, and it just makes a little bit of noise when it goes down, then comes back up. But I will get it all straightened out and hopefully get it working a little smoother. I would demonstrate it right now, but it's about dark, and I have my own extension cord plugged into the light. And you also may notice this wall is now laying down, and we got this whole side here opened up, and got my end wall put into place, and I braced it up here, hoping it's going to want to hold. I made sure to put some screws in, and some makeshift nuts and washers, so they won't pull through. So I put 2 in there, and then a couple more in down here. So this wall is pretty well off and pretty stable. And I put this brace in to get a little more rigidity, and hopefully it all stays in place. And the wind is going to be out of the north, which again, this here is the north wall right here. So all the wind's going to just be blowing straight inside the building. But we hope for the best. So this is probably going to be doing it here for right now. I apologize again for all the lousy videos I've been posting about this building. And it seems like I hadn't had a whole lot of time to do anything else but this building. And it's just me working on it, so it goes kind of slow at times. And I'm hoping to get it finished, at least get the walls up, and enough to start doing some work in here. Hopefully I can get that done here next week. And I'm also going to insulate and sheetrock the whole inside. But I might slowly do that, as assuming the weather holds out. And maybe I can start some other projects and hopefully multitask. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but we'll see on what we can get done. Saturday, the day this video is released, it is supposed to be really cold, so I'm not going to get any work done here, which will be tomorrow for me right now. Not going to be getting any work done. Like a highs of 39 with 25 mile an hour wind, and although is like down to 13 or something crazy like that, which is hard to believe just because 2 days ago we were about 80 degrees. So this weather is really unpredictable, and you really don't know what's going on. So after Saturday, the weather's supposed to straighten out again and back in the 50s and 60s, so we'll just hopefully continue working on this and get this finished up. The active winds are supposed to be fairly calm coming up here next week, so hopefully there's no more windstorms and risk of this building being blown away again. So this is probably going to be doing it here for right now. Appreciate everybody watching, and don't forget to subscribe, like, comment down below, and we'll try to get this finished up. That's George saying hi. And we'll try to get this finished up, and I guess I'll see you next week.